Well, hey everyone, welcome to episode 18 of CXN Coffee. My name's Justin Robbins. I do this every single week alongside my good friend.
Marty Shaughnessy.
We get together, we catch up, we review a new coffee, and we dig deep on a topic in the world of customer experience. We're so glad that you decided to stop on by and spend a little bit of time with us. Marty, as always, so good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, buddy. So what's in the cup? What are you drinking today?
All right, so I am back in the UK, and if we remember from one of the earlier episodes, I had a coffee from Origin Coffee Roasters. Well, when I initially sought after the coffee shop I went to today, I didn't know that their roaster would be Origin, but this is roasted by Origin Coffee again, but is a
Okay.
custom roast for Blank Street Coffee, and the roast is the Blank Blend.
Blank blend. Okay.
Blank Blend by Origin Coffee Roasters.
And I don't think you can
Uh,
show us the color without spilling it, but is it a light? Is it a darker roast? What do we got going on? Oh, I can see it a little bit.
it's yeah. I can't really show it, but mm,
Yeah.
I would say it falls on the lighter roast. I do know it is a Brazilian coffee, because I did happen to ask about it, and you can also buy it in their locations. So Blank Street, Blank Blend by Origin Coffee Roasters in the UK.
All right. How's it taste? Or how's it smell? I guess.
Smells like it tastes delicious. Smells really good. We always have this problem when I don't get to sniff the beans, Marty. I feel like I'm getting robbed a bit of
I know.
the amazingness there. But there's definitely a sweet note to it. I'd say almost a bit caramel
Okay.
is what I got on the nose more than probably the typical the coffee bits, but hints of caramel as well.
Okay. See if that sweetness carries over.
Here we go.
It's pondering. Going in for another sip.
This is really good. Um, it's also the good and the bad news about this is it has reached the perfect point of temperature where that it's very, very drinkable. But also, if I don't drink more of it soon, it
Right.
will be
Right.
very
Right. Right.
undrinkable.
There's nothing more joyous than like grabbing your cup of coffee, remembering how hot and delicious it was, and then getting a full mouthful and realizing it's on the cold side. It's just like a shock and awe.
Yeah, I'm always disappointed when that happens to me, Marty. Why'd you have to bring that up right now?
It won't. It won't. It was just a
Yeah,
reminder.
yeah,
Just a
thanks.
reminder.
Thanks for the reminder. Blank Blend from Blank Street Coffee is absolutely amazing. Uh, I get really strong notes of like apricot coming through. And I do have some of the caramel flavor as well.
Okay.
Um, and it's this is oh my gosh. And I don't know why I don't always think about this with caramel flavors, but did you ever when you were younger, like did your parents or did you ever make caramel apples?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yep.
Did you get the bag of the individual wrapped caramels to do it?
Kraft was it Kraft? Is that where they
Was
were?
is that what they were?
In New England, I think it was the Kraft one. Yeah. There's lots
For
of apple festivals in New England when I've grown up.
And it's like I'm sure caramel tastes like caramel, but for some reason this just threw me back to that Like
Oh, okay.
unwrapping one
The
of
cube.
those.
Is it the cube?
Yes.
There, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
Yes.
believe that was Kraft, or at least that was one of them. But
Yeah, so apricot and caramel, I think, are the two ones that I get. And what delights me about that is, what was it? One of the coffees that we had recently just didn't really jump out with anything, and I like I like I like
it was a
some
one
just
note. It was a one note, and you like a little bit of complexity in there. Some
yeah,
stone
this
fruit, some brown sugar, some caramel, some.
this was really clear. This was really clear in terms of like right away you get the taste and it's I know what that is, right?
Nice.
All right, blank blend from blank street, roasted by Origin, London, England, five-star
Um,
coffee. I want to talk about a lesson while it's fresh. And this would have to do with a situation that I encountered on my trip from the US to the UK.
oh, nice. It's really
Now,
fresh.
really fresh. We've got another topic I had planned that we are going to explore when you and I record our next episode.
Okay.
But for today, I want to dig into this question around why would we make it difficult to make things right with our customers?
That's a great question, and one that I would love the answer to because it seems counterintuitive if you're trying to build up your brand or any kind of like good faith with your brand. And I mean, we've had that discussion 1,000 times on here because I'm like, Justin, honestly, because you're my inside man as far as like how some of these things work, and I'm like, why does it seem like they intentionally put all these, like, you get into a maze and it's like, well, if you figure out how to actually get a hold of us, then maybe we'll talk to you. But let's see if we can deter them. It's kind of like, well, I mean, I guess Disney does it well, but like when you're in the queue line and they've got all these distractions to make a 2 hour line seem like 15 minutes because you go around a corner and you think you're almost there and all of a sudden you're like, you're not, but there's something else to look at. So I feel like, a lot of times it feels like it's intentional that they just rather you give up, and then that makes it easier for them somehow. I don't know. I don't
Right.
know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, Justin.
Here's the backstory, Marty.
Okay.
I always check a bag.
Okay.
I've clocked over 1 million miles and have never lost a bag. I've never had a bag damaged. I've only once in that time had a weather issue and a flight rerouting result in a
Right.
bag making it to me a day late.
Yep.
All things considered, I have faith and trust in the system.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I not? Right? Every single one of us, when we pay for a fare or whatever it would be, you kind of expect that things will go as planned. But we all know that sometimes they don't go as planned.
Yep.
But that's why there's systems and processes to support when it doesn't go as planned. There should be contingencies and there should be ways to resolve it,
Yep.
right? We're with me so far.
Totally with you.
All right. Check my bag in Wilmington, North Carolina. I reunite with my bag in London. I get to my hotel and I notice that my lock had been popped. Not the first time this has happened. I've also had bags get inspected before.
Yep.
Not a big deal. I know why that needs to happen. So, totally cool.
Yep.
I'm a bit neurotic, and so I have a process for how I have all of my stuff rolled and ordered and whatnot.
I've seen it. Yes.
And in the top layer, I open and I have my dress shirts there. And some of those dress shirts happen to be very nice ones that I had custom made. I noticed that one of said shirts, the white one, has what I can best describe as a large mechanical grease stain streaked across it.
Hmm. Interesting.
That has very clearly happened while it was wrapped, tucked inside of the bag. A, I am really confused on how and what that I don't even know. Right? It like the way it looks, Marty, is almost like I just see these like giant industrial rollers and somebody takes the shirt and they're like, I wonder what this will do. You know what I mean? Like it
Are you thinking robots? Is that where this goes? Your conspiracy theory about robots? Like robots with greasy hands that were just like snacking on some oil?
everybody, I do not have a conspiracy theory about robots. I don't know why Marty wants to introduce this right now, but we're
Well,
gonna
we'll talk about it next week. That's what we were
yeah,
going to talk about. Justin wanted to talk about robots.
they really are coming to replace us though. Uh
All right, so I do have a question. So, one, was there a note in there that let you know that your bag was inspected?
no.
Okay. Two,
Which I have had the note before.
yes, yep, I've seen the note, and that's
Uh-huh.
that. I appreciate that, right? It's like, hey,
Right.
just let you know if
Mm-hmm.
something looks weird. We were in here and we're doing our job. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Two, this white shirt, was this put back to kind of mimic how you had originally packed it?
I mean, it wasn't unrolled. It hadn't been unrolled.
Oh, that's bizarre.
So
And
so
the stain, and the stain is in the inside or on the outside?
it's on the outside of the shirt.
Okay.
So like part of me thinks that the bag was opened and something like rolled across it. Something.
Something robotic. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. You stick with your thing. I'm feeling punchy. Go ahead.
I don't know what happened to the shirt, Marty.
Yeah.
I don't know
Huh.
what happened to the shirt. Point is, between me packing it at home and me unpacking it at the hotel, it got damaged. And I mean, I'll see if I can get this professionally cleaned. I don't know that what's on it is coming out of it.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I start looking and I go to Delta's site
Mm-hmm.
and hey, did we lose your bag? Is your bag damaged? Whatever. And I'm like, no, it's stuff inside of my bag. If this is related to a TSA issue, well, that's a TSA thing, not a Delta thing. So you can go to TSA's website, and they make it very easy for you to find where to click the button. It seems on the surface it's like, oh, here's the button to submit a claim. Takes
Mm-hmm.
you to a 5-page PDF that must be printed, filled out, mailed in.
Yeah. They'll get to it. They'll get to it. And like registered mail, I guess you would want proof that it got there. Oh man.
I'm tempted to hire a personal courier to get this there.
Hmm. So there's
It's
no electronic. There's no other option. This is the only option is to print and mail and see what
no,
happens.
and here's the frustrating and the upsetting part about all of this for me, Marty. And this is really the question and the lesson that I want to dig into for us. Um, as I mentioned, this type of thing is not the norm. I know
Hmm.
it's not the norm because I travel extensively, and if it happened a lot, it would have happened to me a lot. So the first thing about it then means that, okay, so if when customers have an issue, if it's relatively uncommon, then it shouldn't be difficult for you as a brand to have people equipped and ready to do with that issue. That to me is the first part of this. It's like it's not it's not going to be an overwhelming percentage of people because it's not the norm.
Yeah,
So that to me is part one. Like you can't use that excuse of it happens all the time. Well, okay, if it happens all the time, then that's a different issue.
correct.
Also needs to
Yes.
be addressed. If it
Yep.
doesn't happen a lot, all right, it's got to happen enough that you should have people available and ready for it first off. Second, Marty, you mentioned something about, perception and, desire. TSA doesn't have that problem because for me to travel, I'm at the mercy of them and what they do.
Right.
Guess that leaves us with the bigger challenge of like, okay, so does that make it right?
Right.
Does that make it right to create a really complicated process when you've had something that is really like personally it hurts, right? Not only does it hurt because of the cost and the inconvenience,
Hmm.
but it's like devaluing, right? That I think is the biggest thing. Like I said about this, and it's like they don't care. They don't care about anything other than preserving the time, effort, and energy to do the right thing.
Well, so I know you're. I mean, over the years of your experience, you've been a consultant, you've been an inside guy, all those different things. So let me ask you: have you ever bore witness, and obviously don't use names, but the intentional like intentionally making something difficult? Have you ever like seen where it's like that was actually a call of like we can save money by there's going to be a pretty good abandon rate here, and they actually enforce that policy because they know it's broken and they know they're balancing out frustration with like money, I guess.
Absolutely. And the interesting part is there
Name
have
names.
been
Just kidding.
there have been laws put into place in recent years
Hmm.
that have required companies to make it easier for people to. So if you think about like recurring subscriptions and whatnot,
Right.
they have had to comply with policies to make it much easier for people to cancel.
Yes.
But in this case, this would mean that the government would have to place a policy on itself to make it easier.
Yeah.
This is a frustrating one for me, Marty, and I think the real question comes down to us as business. This is what I've really been wrestling with when I think about this episode is uh are you the type of company who does the right thing because
It's the right thing.
it's the right thing?
I mean, that seems super simple, but it also is like, do you tell the truth because you should tell the truth? You know what I mean? Like, feels pretty basic there.
Like, I know lots of companies who do the right thing because of eyes and regulations and fear of the falling out.
Right.
But I think the unsettling right now is what about the companies that they that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What kind of What kind of company are you?
Yeah.
Marty, that's the spot I'm wrestling with today, and that's the spot where I think a lot of leaders who have service and support teams as part of, their purview. I think that's a tension for us to sit in a little bit and recognize what are the things that we're doing today out of obligation,
Mm.
right? We have to do it within this many days. We have to do it because we're afraid something will happen if we don't, whatever. Versus what are we what are we doing because it creates an opportunity? It creates an opportunity for us to make someone's life easier. It creates an opportunity for us to show someone that we value them. It creates an opportunity for us to just set an expectation that we're the type of organization that can be trusted and counted
Yeah.
on. I think that for me is what this is all about. Uh, because I know I for one, often have people and companies alike will view them with the kind of the best and purest of intention.
Hmm.
And as a traveler, I was like, everything's have always been great, and I think I always equate that with that's because they have my best interest in mind.
Right.
And turns out when things don't go well for me, uh, that's not the case. I think it'd be a cool gesture for TSA, by the way, if you're a viewer, just a hint, to do something for our customers to show that we are paying attention, that we do care, that we do honor them. So that's the place where I'll leave us today. Are you serving your customers out of obligation, or are you serving your customers from the perspective of the opportunity that it creates, not just for them, but for you and your organization as well? So those those are the bits. I'm clearly still a little
No, I can,
sad about
yeah, I
my
can. There's
my
some
shirt.
emotion behind this. I can tell.
We're processing, Marty. This show is as much about my love of coffee as it is about you being my therapist on all things CX.
And robots.
We're gonna save that for next week. But until then, blank blend from blank street, roasted by Origin,
Of
awesome
Brazil.
coffee. I'm not gonna say that 5 times fast, but it was so good. It was good to the last drop. Uh, Loved that coffee. You and I are coming up on some time together ourselves. I
Yes.
am looking forward to that. So good.
Yeah, buddy. Can't wait.
Until next time, my name's Justin Robbins. I do this alongside.
Marty Shaughnessy.
You've been watching CX and Coffee. We will catch you next week for a whole new brew.